Okay. So this is week 1 of February. How was your winter storm week? Was that surprising?
Yes.
Did you have pandemic flashbacks?
Yeah.
Me too. Like, it was okay the first couple of days, and then I started getting anxious, like feeling trapped. Do you know what I mean? It was really interesting. Yeah, it triggered some strange emotions, and apparently all my friends said the same. So I just thought that was really interesting. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a really cool topic. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so here we go. Make sure you are over here. Okay, so we are going to talk about the best inventions here. Okay, so I don't know what that's doing. Why is that there? Nope. Huh. That's one I wanted. Okay, so let me make that bigger. There we go. Okay, I'm guessing you can see that, yes? Okay, so every year, Kids Time Magazine will do a best of the best. So they actually have 200 innovations or inventions that got their attention. And so they kind of narrowed it down to the top 10. So these are the top 10 best inventions from 2022. So here we go. Here comes the first one, digital braille. Okay, so what you're going to find is some of these inventions have, a specific audience. This is like an iPad for blind people. Obviously they can't use an iPad, they can't see it. So this allows them to kind of connect. So that's pretty cool, digital braille. The second one is the bionic. So instead of a prosthesis, that really can't do anything but kind of sit there, this actually is a bionic prosthesis, which means it's powerful. Pretty cool, AI powered. This next one, eye-catching sound. This is like a Bluetooth speaker. This is like art, but it's like an Alexa that looks like art. I don't know. The next one are sunglasses, especially for skiing. They allow a boost of color over 30%, which is very cool. The next one, this one's really cool. This is a self-guided flying laser scanner. So it looks like a drone, right? No, what it does is it does a 3D imprint of like a building. So it can take less than 10 minutes to take a model of a high-rise building in New York City. Very cool. I like this one. This one's sweet. This is Bear Hugs. This is Hugimals. This was for kids in hospitals who obviously are depressed. They give them a calming hug. They're weighted stuffed animals. Pretty cool. The next one, recycled paint. I don't know if you know this, but paint is one of the worst dumping products, and it's the worst thing for the environment. So you're not supposed to put it out on the curb. You're supposed to dispense of it in a specific environmentally friendly place, but now we can recycle paint, which is cool. This doesn't really apply to us, but if you lived, way out in South Africa, this is actually a truck filled with food, and it's on one of those big cargo planes, and it can reach these really remote places and bring them fresh food. This is an analog pocket. Looks like a Game Boy, but its resolution is higher and it's packed with modern features. So if you're a gamer, this is a cool invention for you. And then the last one here, this is actually a swim cap made for people, for African Americans or people who have a lot of hair, where the average skin cap won't fit them, right? So I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit. I've given you a lot of inventions here, but the next page is really, really interesting because this is a link to expensive inventions only the rich can afford. Now, I've given you the entire link, and you're going to find out here in a minute why. But here are 3 examples. Now, your parents may or may not drink coffee. Be a meaning, yes? Do you think it's feasible for them to buy a $9,600 coffee making machine?
No.
No. and I love me some coffee, but I think that's a little steep price tag for me. The next one is the Hasselblad camera. This is one of the best cameras for photographers, for, you know, this is their profession. It's a $32,000 camera. So most people don't need a $32,000 camera. I'll take my little iPhone camera, right? Again, it's not a necessity. Another invention is the Exospace B55. Pretty cool. This is the watch of the future. Its price tag, $9,000. I don't know about you, but I don't need a $9,000 watch. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about just a really cool topic, inventions. What's cool about inventions? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing because you can kind of have this in front of you. So here's what we know. Let's look at the definition of an invention. And I'm on this page. Inventions, inventors, innovators. Whoa, that's a lot of terms, right? An invention is something that's made that has never existed before. The process of creating something brand new. That's what an invention is. Now, I'm not saying that you can't take a product like the iPhone and make it better. Like, I don't even know what number are we on. Are we on 16? What number are we on, Viomini? So do you see what I mean? They invented the iPhone 15 years ago, but have they continually used innovative technology to improve it? Okay, that's not an invention. That's an innovation. That's taking it to the next level. So we want innovation, right? So if you look at the definition of an innovator, it's a person or group who creates new ideas or new ways of doing things. And it requires creativity and imagination and thinking outside of the box, but it doesn't have to be a new idea. Do you see the difference? Inventions are new. So let me give you an example of a recent, pretty phenomenal invention, and that's the messenger RNA vaccine. That's never been done before. And this is why it was so controversial and why it was so divisive during the pandemic. People didn't trust, a brand new vaccine because it was new. It had never been tried or tested before. We didn't know, and we still won't know. Here's the reality. We don't know what the long-term ramifications of this are going to be. But when it came to a life or death decision, it was this or death, right? We got to weigh that. So inventions like vaccines, medicines, heart transplants, they have a way of 3D printing. You can 3D print bones. So when we think about inventions, some of them, the technology is, advancing the medical field. It is saving lives, these inventions. Some are environmental inventions. I don't know if you know this. This is very cool. We are, all you hear about is global warming, right? And climate change. Scientists are finding a way to basically improve the stratosphere, like find a way to rebuild it, which I think is fascinating. If we can do that, we can fix the damage we've caused, right? We have aviation innovation. Oh my gosh, wow. I don't know about you. I like to get on a plane that I have my own screen and I can do my own, I don't do, do the movie everyone else is watching. I get my own. So the more we have technology, right, we're going to have our own little cubby, right? Which would be cool. Artificial intelligence, I've got to be honest with you, scares me. The idea that it can kind of take over humanity, that's a little scary, but a lot of people like the idea of that. How would you like to have a house robot?
Not really.
I know. Ooh, agricultural. Okay, we know the cotton gin. We know anything that improves production. Look at food prices today. So anything that can improve agricultural modifications, I'm all for. And then communication. Hello. Look at the way we communication. Did you hear about the Chinese balloon? You didn't hear about China's big balloon that was monitoring flying over the United States? Okay, again, that was apparently trying to, it was trying to basically sabotage us, right? And our military said they didn't detect it. That's how we know it's not good. So we need improvement and innovation in that. Yes. So think about, you know, and if you were in my room, I would tell you, think about sitting in my room, but I want you to think about sitting in your room right now. And I want you to think about everything that was created, from your wall to the lights in your room, to the computer you're on right now, right? To your pen, your pencil, your rug. Every single thing really allows us to have more convenience, right? Allows us to get things done quicker. So think about the inventions people daily use. Okay, so heater, that was really important last week. Refrigerator, hello, food storage. Your dishwasher, not a necessity, but Miss Hensel likes it. Your oven, your stovetop, pretty essential in my house. Your electricity and your lights. Hot water heater. Did you have warm baths last week? Yeah. Your washing machine, maybe you wash clothes. Your dryer. Hair dryer. I mean, I use one every day, but a lot of my kids said, okay, television, internet. Now we're getting close. Chargers for technology. So computer, iPad, cell phone, your automobile. I'm sure you use that today to get to and from school. Traffic lights. Can you imagine the roads without traffic lights? Chaos. Tennis shoes. I have a student who wrote about tennis shoes as an invention. I said, that's a great invention. I love that idea. A watch, maybe even an Apple Watch. Utensils. So when you think about it, what invention could most people not live without? Wow. What could you not live without? Well, think about last week. If your power had gone out, what would be the one thing you couldn't live without?
Probably electricity.
That heater, right?
Yeah.
Which inventions are the most useful? Anything day to day is going to be something that's incredibly useful. Okay, but there are some really cool inventions that are unnecessary. Agreed? Doesn't mean they don't have value. I think one of the coolest inventions is the camera you put on your pet. Have you seen that? It's like a Go camera, and you can put it on your pet to see where your pet goes. Like it's a cat. I just think that's fascinating. I don't know, whatever. So an invention is the creation of something that did not exist before. It can be a simple gadget, a novel process, a new material, a complex machine. An invention is new. Okay, an innovator is someone who, I mean, they can be an inventor, but they create new ideas and new ways of doing things. It could be a new invention. It could be a modification of a previous invention. So why do we invent? To meet basic human needs, to fulfill our own creative desires. Many are inspired by social reasons to make life better, more comfortable, easier, and some are economic reasons. We kind of talked about that, but here's the reality. Inventions play a pivotal role in daily life. Agreed? So here comes what we're going to do today. And before I kind of get started, I'm going to tell you what I've been doing since January, which you don't realize I've been doing. Everything since January have been standardized test prompts. Have they been a little harder? Every single one of these has been on a standardized test. Every one of them. You're going to have to answer it somewhere down the road. Later on this month, I'm going to do prompts that really kind of relate to college essays. Are you going to have to write those? So we don't like to do them, and they tend to be a little bit harder, but I'm really just trying to prepare you for whatever you face down the road. So inventions. You can sit in any room. look around, and find hundreds, if not thousands, of inventions, from the floor to the windows to the ceilings, what's cooling or heating the room, the furniture in the room, what you're sitting on, and everything in between. So sometimes a terrific invention is a matter of sheer luck and discovery. So I'm going to give you a fun story about red delicious apples. Have you ever had one? It's about 12 different kinds of apples. They're the shiny ones. An Iowan farmer named Jesse Hyatt saw a small seedling growing on his farm. He thought it was a nuisance plant and chopped it down. The tree kept growing back, so finally he allowed it to grow to maturity. It produced red apples. 18 years went by. He finally took the apple he called Hawkeye to a fruit show where he sold the rights to market the apple that was renamed Red Delicious. He made a lot of money on that apple, right? So when you create an invention, what you want to do is, like he did, you want to make sure no one can steal your idea. So the United States allows you to file for a patent. And a patent protects, for example, Apple had a 7-year patent on their technology. So nobody for the first 7 years could use smartphone device. So it allows the inventor time to make money or time to reap the benefits of their idea. But after 7 years, the patent expires and other people can come in. So you know, other people have like the Google phone, right? The Samsung. But they had to wait until the patent expired. So when you have a new invention, you want to file for a patent on it. Okay, so go to your outline. Let me grab one real quick because actually I have it in front of me. Okay, so to make this fun for you, I thought let's let them do it in first person, right? Let's do a first person narrative. So the lead I gave you is from my perspective. I am fascinated by the latest cool gadgets. I often wonder who came up with the idea of wearing makeup and then decided to create it. So when I was a little girl, Viomini, my parents have a funny story about, we went to visit my cousin in Oklahoma named Becky. She still tells this story today. And I think I was 7 and she had this big box of makeup. And I took that box, I took it in the bathroom and I locked myself in. And I sat there on the bathroom floor and played with her makeup. And they were banging on the door, telling me to get out, and I would not get out. I would not leave. She still tells that story. So, you know, we are who we are. You know, I like makeup. You know, I've always been fascinated by it since I was as young as you are. So think about who thought of makeup. Maybe somebody, you know, ate a fruit that had a certain pigment color and it turned their lips pink. And they thought, oh, I could do that, right? And we know that kind of is how it happened. I'm just guessing, but think about who came up with that idea. I sit down at my vanity table, I put my makeup on each day and I think, look at all the improvements, right? Like you walk into a Sephora or an Ulta, and I don't know if you know this, Viomini, but makeup is a billion-dollar industry, right? You might know the name Kylie Jenner. She's a Kardashian. At the age of 21, she was a billionaire for creating a lipstick kit. It became a hot brand, and that's how she made her money. So here's what you get to do today, right? You get to pick any invention of your choice, right? So body one, blank is an invention I believe is essential to my daily living because of the function it serves. You're going to describe one function, back it up, a second function, back it up, a third function, back it up. So scroll down and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you an example. The invention of the backpack is essential to my daily living because of its functionality. So to be clear, do not use a backpack. You cannot use backpack. Even though that would be good for you, I'm taking it off the table. So here's what I want. I cannot make it through the day without a place to store all of my school supplies. First off, if I have my school iPad and other supplies, it serves as a place to store all I need for school or after school activities. I usually pack my lunch and my PE clothes and bring them to school every day, so my backpack makes it easy for me to carry everything I need for the day and all in one convenient place. Secondly, I can easily carry my backpack and sling it behind me over my shoulders, which means I can carry your heavier items easier. Since it's also on my back, it frees up my hands. This means I can open a door or talk to my friends without having to worry about putting down my belongings as they're resting safely on my back. I think you get the picture here. You get to say whatever you want. Okay, that's the fun one. Or that's the easy one. Here comes the fun one. An invention I think would be cool to have, but is too expensive for me, is the blank. Now, it has to be age appropriate. I don't want you to put a Tesla. Unless you're 16 and you can drive, then you can put a Tesla, right? So it could be anything here. So I want you to scroll back down, and I chose the La Pavoni volumetric espresso machine. So here's kind of how I did it. I love to start my day with the perfect blended hot cup of coffee. First off, I'm picky about the temperature. When I go to coffee shops like Starbucks, my number one complaint is the coffee is just warm and not as hot as I would like it. Even if I order extra hot, it cools too quickly. With this machine, my coffee would be optimal temperature. Secondly, I like steamed hot milk in my coffee. My favorite drink is a latte, which is a combination of coffee and hot steamed milk, which leaves a nice thick froth on the top. The problem with froth is if I order extra at a coffee shop, I get this much froth and this much coffee. Is that worth my $5 coffee? Okay, so you get the point. You get how I'm kind of describing. Okay, so it's a $9,600. I promise you, Via Media, I will never, ever own that, okay? But it's kind of fun to dream, right? So this second paragraph is get outside your box, and I gave you the link. And you don't even have to use the ones on my link. You can, I'm telling you, just Google any invention. So let's go to your thesis. One invention I feel is the most useful in my life would be blank, because it serves a valuable purpose. So that's body one. However, I think the blank is totally cool, but I could never afford it. So I want to tell you something interesting that I realized I did, everybody besides Via Mini. I used the word cool way too many times, and I could have fixed it, and you would never have been the wiser. But I want you to know, when you say the word cool, 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 over and over and over again, it sure loses its power and emphasis, doesn't it? So I just want you to be aware. All writers have to think about repetition of words. So just always be thinking about that. So the conclusion here, restated thesis, an invention I could not live without is the blank, because it's something I need every day. So you get to choose anything you want. What is something you use every day that you need? And it could be your iPad. That would be an easy topic, wouldn't it? Right? For older kids, might be their phone, right? Could be your watch, whatever it is you use. Describe 3 functions, but really explain them. Why are they so necessary? Second body paragraph, an expensive device I'd love to have but could never afford is the blank. So let's say you're kind of an amateur photographer. Maybe a really expensive camera would be something that you would want to write about. Does that make sense? And then really look it up and see what it could do. Okay, so if I started with makeup, and I don't want you to start with makeup, that's just me, because this is what interests me. I will tell you, a student started with tennis shoes, and I thought, what a great idea. Whatever you start in your lead and conclusion, don't let it be what's in the body paragraph. So I'm going to connect in my conclusion with makeup. There have been numerous inventions in the beauty industry. The TV and movie industry utilized makeup for journalists or actors, some to enhance their beauty and others to age or disfigure. Look how far innovators have come in creating the latest fads for makeup. When it comes to day-to-day life, I think I'm fascinated by where ideas come from and who's fearless enough to try to market new beauty products or products in general. So I just think that's cool, right? But this is a great idea. Tennis shoes. That would be a great invention if you wear tennis shoes every day. So it's about topic choice, isn't it? Have fun with this one. Any questions?
By Miss Ansel.
All right, have a good one. And that concludes this class, everybody.